The youth today must think big. We do think big discounts, big pizzas, big days, big discounts, but not the big EMIs. But a unanimous decision is that everybody wants big money. How many of you want big money? Not many. Very few. Everybody thinks big money, but nobody says. Good afternoon and namaste to all. On this occasion of birth anniversary of Swami Vivekanand ji, I, Dr. Charu Sachdeva, wish you all a great National Youth Day. Before my address, I would like to thank Social Reform and Research Organization Pramod ji and his team to organize this event and having me here. I'm a surgeon and a medical lawyer by profession, and a small part of this budding youth, now an entrepreneur. The present catalysts of change, you guys, the youth, constitute a significant portion of this country's population. And empowerment is more than just a buzzword. It's a very powerful word as it seems, but nobody's taking care of it, how it actually works. It's about creating opportunities, dismantling barriers, and providing tools that the young people actually need to thrive on. If the oldies or the previous generation is not going to create the opportunities, the youth is not going to do anything. Young people aim to achieve greatness in life. Everybody says this, every load, every burden is on our shoulders, on your shoulders parallelly. But greatness is fine. We need help. Do you think we need help or no? We do need help. Everybody needs help. So greatness is achievable. ऐसा नहीं है that the burden on the shoulders of the youth is only for us, and the oldies and the previous generation is not going to support us. So the youth is going to achieve the greatness only if we have the opportunity and the sources and the tools to get it done. When the youth is armed with the right knowledge and skills, the world is prepared for the global arena and the contribution of communities happens. One of the major foundations of this empowerment is health. How many of you guys feel that health is important for a country to grow? Okay, now I see people getting engaged. Money doesn't make difference, healthcare makes difference. And with healthcare, it comes money. A fundamental human right and cornerstone of this thriving society is health. As a surgeon and an oncology enthusiast, I truly believe that a nation's health is totally responsible for the economy. To empower healthcare, we must prioritize the access, affordability, and innovation. From promoting vaccination campaigns to addressing the mental health stigmas. This is very common these days. I'm really sad to see that everybody is saying that I am in depression, he or she is in depression, but nobody is actually talking about what is mental health. Nobody is in depression, we are just stressed and anxious. How many of you are anxious? And how many of you are depressed? Everybody is anxious. So the difference of being anxious and being depressed during your studies, your work time, your professional time, your social, personal lives, nobody is telling us that also. We are studying bachelors, we are studying masters, we are doing our PhDs, but nobody is actually telling us that we are mentally not stable, or we are struggling with our emotions, or we are anxious, or we are depressed actually in science. But it's very common these days, we say we are depressed. So it's a stigma, still a stigma. We need to have a proactive approach ASAP. Mental health, especially I have seen the bachelor's people struggling through a lot, and it needs some help. Not the masters, because somehow as soon as we reach our masters, we understand what we have to do. I think most of us will realize. But in the bachelor's time, when we are forcefully told to go into this stream, Tare Zami Par, everybody wants to do something else, but Papa camera nahi lene dete, and 3 idiots come into the action. I think that is the time where we need to realize what we are meant for and what we are going to do in lives. How many of you are a fan of Abhinav Bassi? Good. Now I can see the provisional and potential lawyers where they are going. To the previous generation, how many of you guys know who is Anubhav Bassi? आप लोग जानते हैं, madam? You're the director for their faculty. आप जानते हैं who is Anubhav Bassi? Okay, so he was a lawyer, pastor from CSSU, and then he realized later on in his later phases of life when he was practicing in as some small designatory at the court, he realized it is not for me. And at a very middle-aged time, he realized that now he can do a stand-up. So that guy belonged to Meerut. My graduation is from Meerut. So, but my master's is not from that. Please don't judge. So, so that guy realized later on in his middle age that he wants to become a stand-up comedian, a lawyer turned stand-up comedian, and it's okay. Even after doing masters, he realized that, you know, it's not the time to practice law. I should just go and be a stand-up comedian. So the synergy between empowering youth and standing healthcare cannot be overstated. Consider this. A healthy youth population is better equipped to innovate, lead, and transform society. True or not? True. True. Conversely, empowered youth leaders can drive politics and policies that make better healthcare systems more inclusive and responsive. The policy, if it's going to fall in place at the right time, people will get the due benefits. Prioritizing humanity over profit is still a deep challenge. Repeating again, prioritizing humanity over profit is still a deep challenge. I want you guys to think it again. I said humanity over profit. So can't we do humanity with profit? Can we? We can. So the difference that it is a road which goes parallel and humanity runs with or without profits. Sometimes with your just recurring revenues, sometimes with profits, sometimes without profits. It's for those people who didn't raise hands when I said big money. So as I conclude, with 7 minutes of my talk being concluded, as I conclude, let me remind you that empowering the youth and healthcare is not the responsibility of government only. It requires collective effort from educators, business, civil societies, and each of us individuals sitting in the hall or existing outside. To the policy makers in the room, invest in education, invest in healthcare infrastructure and youth programs like this that SRRO has conducted today. To the business leaders, create opportunities for young people because nobody becomes CEO immediately after their masters. Nobody. No, not even Nishke Hair ki Malkin. So nobody becomes CEO immediately after masters or PhDs. It is the previous generation who has to give us that opportunity where you guys can grab it. So to the youth, every opportunity to learn, to grow and advocate the changes that you see, immediately seize it. It doesn't matter being a lawyer or a stand-up comedian or a doctor or an entrepreneur. How many of you guys think that you're actually going to practice? Not much of the hands. So the other category which realize that they're still diabolical with their decision, it's okay. I told you from the time I started my talk, the burden is on our shoulders. And sometimes you just have to shrug it off. So just shrug it off, think what you are born for and what best you can do. Sometimes it's not about practice. I was a good surgeon, I say that. My patients say that. But it took a toll when I realized if I'm going to do it all my life, I will never be able to create a change. Because half of my time is getting lost in the OT. And I'm stuck there till 1 o'clock in the night, coming back home at 5 a.m., sleeping, going back again at 8 a.m. in the morning. And half of your life will be just gone like this. By the time you will rub your eyes, you're old. So sometimes you have to think before executing into the market. And you have to seize every opportunity you get. Our mission is clear. Empower the young, fortify healthcare culture, and together we build a nation that thrives on equity, innovation, and compassion. I don't think any fourth thing which we need. We need equity, innovation, and compassion. Anything else everybody wants to add as fourth point?
Ma'am, when we talked about humanity with
Yeah.
So I think the compassion covered it.
Absolutely, absolutely. The only thing, I think the whole world works on these three things: equity, compassion, and innovation. It's the world of AI now. I mean, everybody will talk about sustainability, everybody will talk about AIs. It's the fundamental root thing. So I'll conclude with two lines of Narendra Verma ji. I hope you guys know who he is. राह में मुश्किल होंगी हजार, तुम 2 कदम बढ़ाओ तो सही, हो जाएगा हर सपना साकार, तुम चलो तो सही, तुम चलो तो सही. Thank you. Jai Hind. I'm open for questions. If anybody has any questions, I'm out. Please. No questions? Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for your time. We can. Yes, I can see your hand. Yes, please. I think it goes everywhere. There is no industry left like this. In every industry, be it an engineer, you need innovation. Be it a doctor, you need compassion. Be it a lawyer, you need equity. I think with every profession you can think of, these are the only 3 pillars that I understand. And I think the world agrees to it that when we are studying, I mean, for the doctors, I think there is no end age to study, but we consider your middle 20s is the right age where we think our studies should be closed and we actually go into the market and earn. I think at that time also, these 3 things with every sector, with every college, with every course, it falls the same. There is no 4th thing. If somebody think that there is something 4th.
Ma'am, I can think of 4.
Yes, please.
Ma'am, ethics.
That
Ethics
goes
and
on
honesty.
compassion, is it? Or equity? Can we consider it onto the equity ground?
No, I'm talking about morality.
Okay, so I'm talking about equity here. So can we consider that ethics works hand to hand in equities? No?
I don't think so.
Okay, okay. And anybody thinks that equity shall not fit into these three main pillars, or is it a separate 4th entity? It's the same thing. I think equity and equality is something which covers it. You know, it's just a different vocabulary word. It's a different terminology, but works the same. So, but I totally agree to you if you say that.
I said morality.
Morality and ethics, 2 different words, similar meaning. But thank you for your question. Thank you so much.